Hello, chat room. Wow, this is loud. I didn't realize how loud it was until I started talking. I've picked some relaxing Elden Ring music. Oh, this is playing in the wrong tab. Hold on. Get out of here. Okay, get the right tab open. There we go. James, the Apoke James, how's it going? You're no longer the Apoke, you're straight up Apoke animation. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Sorry for stepping on your announcement. For a second stream in 2 days. Yeah, we're doing 2 streams in 2 days. Isn't that wild? Because I got way too I couldn't cover the final I couldn't cover Rose's Scabbard yesterday because my voice started to give out. The real The Apoke was the friends in our heart, friendship, power of trust, rainbows. Yeah, I added the rainbows in there, but you know. I think at a certain point, James, since you're here, I feel like this is a good time to say this. We're gonna have to split servers at some point because Gemology is getting too big, and I feel like we both have audiences that are growing for different reasons. I don't know. Someday we'll have to do a, what is it called when a company just like a split? I don't know. The government splits the company up because they're too big. First-time stream viewer. I don't blame you for being a first-time viewer first-time stream viewer because I missed 2 weeks. Let's talk about this? Yeah, definitely. I'll just say it now because I know there's a lot of people. Our audiences don't overlap as much as they probably used to. Yeah, you gotta unfuse. But yes, welcome. I should probably get Blender open. This is the... I gotta get this all set up. One moment. This is kind of like this music is very somber, which I think is cool. It's very relaxing. I love Elden Ring music. Maybe I'll have to change that because it might be like too depressing for this stream. Cuz I want to talk about like funny. I want to be funny sometimes. Rose's Scabbard is not a very like you don't think of this episode and think of it as being funny, but there are a lot of funny moments in this episode. Aquapines, how's it going? Long time no see. I hate books? Why? What? Who hates books? Do you hate books or do you just not have patience for books? That's the better question. For the longest time, when I was in high school and stuff, I mostly just didn't have the patience for the books that I was assigned. I don't know. I guess I just didn't like being told what to do when I was assigned books and stuff. Yeah, when you're forced to read them, that makes sense. I understand that. That's part of my bitterness toward Catcher in the Rye. That's my least favorite book of all time, and I chalk at least like 30% of that up to being forced to read it for high school. But man, that book sucks. I don't know. It's been nearly 10 years since I've read that. Delicious. Hello? There we go. Can't wait to get over with the writing portion of my class. I don't know about you guys, but writing is like one of my favorite parts. Like making videos, writing is probably my favorite part of is probably my absolute favorite part of making videos. Just the writing section of it. I get good ideas and I start drafting scripts and stuff, and then I like totally give them up. I don't know. Emotional monologue. Let's skip ahead in this. Wait. Is this literally just the same song over and over? Okay, let me pull up some fucking Skyrim music instead. This is 3 hours of the same song from Elden Ring. Let's get some, like, I don't know, it's like, ooh, peaceful night music, Skyrim. I like Skyrim. I love Skyrim. It might be my favorite, I don't know, that's a hard one to pick, but I feel like the soundtrack fits Skyrim better than any other, what do you call it? Any other, like, game. Like, so much of that game's identity is tied to its music. Can we look at MacGuffin Cat? We never read that book at my school, but we did read To Kill a Mockingbird. I think To Kill a Mockingbird was one of the only books that I was assigned and I really enjoyed. That and, I had this class, believe it or not, chat, I got my start with media analysis in high school. Surprise, surprise. That's when I was doing Crystal Sins, first of all. Second of all, I had a, one of my English classes in, like, senior year or something. At that point where it's just like, yeah, I just want, like, kind of an easy course because it's, like, it's my final fucking year of school. And I just want to, like, glide through this one. I picked a, like, a movie analysis class. But it wasn't just movies. It was, we did a lot of, like, reading a book and then watching the movie that was, like, an adaptation about that book. So we read, there's this Stephen King anthology called 4 Seasons, and the first season, the first story in that book is The Shawshank Redemption. And then we watched The Shawshank Redemption, and that ended up becoming one of my favorite movies ever. We did a lot of, like, media, like, actual movie analysis. It wasn't just, like, watching movies and just, like, this is cool, I like this. It was a lot more of, like, analyzing the story, the same way you would analyze books in high school. Percy Jackson was not one of those books. The teacher I work with currently is a big Percy Jackson nut, and we've had this conversation that the Percy Jackson movie is, like, absolutely nothing like the book. Because holy fuck. I don't know what they totally butchered that. I gotta rewatch that movie at some point just to, like, remember how bad it is. Here's the thumbnail from the stream. Favorite movie of all time, though, is No Country for Old Men, which was not a book. Wait, was it? It wasn't, right? Hold on, I can't even remember. No Country for Old Men was definitely a movie. Based on... Oh, it is a book. Holy shit. It was written as a screenplay, and then it was adapted into a book, and then it was turned back into a movie. Like, I think the screenplay was rewritten or some shit. I don't know. I gotta read that at some point. I don't know. It probably isn't as good as the movie, because that movie is, like I said, literally my favorite movie of all time. See, Steven is not wearing shoes in this shot. The movie is still better than the Disney Plus show? The Percy Jackson Disney Plus show? I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about Percy Jackson. I read like the first 2 books when I was a kid. And then it just didn't keep my interest after that. Best book movie ever is The Shining. I have not seen that one. I've heard in this in media, in writing, in directing, in editing and all that, there's a lot of like rules, you know, rules of thumb, things to kind of abide by while you're working on any of these projects. And the biggest rule of them all is goes like this. If it makes for a better movie or story or whatever, just break every rule. Break all the rules if it makes it better. Which is fucking cool, because it's like every other profession, you have these rules, you're just not allowed to break them. It's like, you know, safety and stuff like that. But it's like, if it's gonna make for a better fucking story, then yeah. Wait, I was wrong. Hold on. I'm thinking back. Yeah, I was wrong yesterday. I thought Rose Quartz in this portrait was looking to the right. But no, she's kind of looking to the left a little bit. This is like a 3/4. What is this dramatic music? It's Skyrim. You never heard of Skyrim? I talked about it before. To say the movie is better than the show is a very hot take. Is this turned into a Percy Jackson analysis stream, discussion stream? Hot dog late wife selfie back on the table. Yeah, I mean it's fresh because this conversation just happened yesterday. But let me look up just an image. I don't want to have to pull up the other episode. Rose Quartz hot dog. Greg. Rose Quartz hot dog came up with like some actual hot dogs. Okay, hold on. A little suspicious, isn't it? I don't think, It's definitely not the same. I don't know. It straight up could be just a selfie in front of the portrait of dead girlfriend. She's looking way more to the left. Yeah, she's got like it's definitely like an angle below. If we zoom in a little more, it's definitely Greg holding the camera and pointing it up, so it's like it's getting that like chin shot of her. Meanwhile, the portrait is more straight on of her face. It's not at that like low angle. The hair is different. It's just kind of funny to imagine that Greg just like taking fucking selfies in front of the taking the portrait. Yeah, this is my wife, girlfriend, mother of my son. She's dead. Very dramatic sky. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit just so it's not too dramatic. Do they ever mention where the portrait comes from? I don't think they do. I think the implication is that it's Vidalia painted it, because she's the only other time we ever see paintings in this show is Vidalia, and like all of her amethyst paintings, and then the the Garnet and baby Cupid Angel Steven, who everyone freaked out. It's like, oh, he's naked. He's a naked baby in this one. It's like, who cares? He's supposed to be Cupid or whatever. Like a little baby angel character. I hate this shot. I talked about this in the video, but man, does this irk me because it looks so smooth and Pearl's just scaling it like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's a little weird. Well, you watch these videos, or if you've ever done rock climbing yourself, or you watch people doing it, it's like every step, every changing where your hand goes is like this calculated effort of like what route, what like handhold or what foot placement is gonna get me the like most distance. And meanwhile, you just play this back and it's just Pearl fucking climbing this wall like it's a ladder. And like not even the proper way to climb a ladder. She's going like one hand and one foot at a time. It's really it irks me, especially this one. Wait. This right here. Also, Steven had to cut his fucking arms off to fit in there. She's putting new holes in the wall to climb. I wouldn't be surprised if she did like there's like an anime or something where a character like punches their hand like straight into fucking rock, like fingers first. I can imagine her doing that. Or she like did that in the past and just like there are these handholds that she had put there or something. She's a lizard. She's a fucking gecko. Gem physiology. I mean, gems are rocks. They could just pound through another rock. You see gems like smash rocks occasionally, right? There's that rock that Amethyst kicked into two rocks. Yeah, Pearl kicks a rock in half in fucking Coach Steven, the Sugalite. When Sugalite's smashing shit, Pearl like kicks a fucking rock in half as it's flying toward them. Gecko climbing. What if she's used like she could have had those in that one Mission Impossible movie where they have the glass like suction gloves that the batteries die on one of them. They're climbing was it the Burj Khalifa? What was he climbing? Tom Cruise climbing the Burj Khalifa? I don't know the actual fucking name of the main character in those movies. It's just Tom Cruise. Pearl can't smash other rocks. That's her entire problem. That's pretty good. This is definitely an Ed, Edd n Eddy drawing. This is that every time I mention Ed, Edd n Eddy in these videos, I get comments talking about the storyboard artist that worked on these that also worked on Ed, Edd n Eddy. Raven Molisi? How do you say that? This person was they only worked on 2 episodes of Ed, Edd n Eddy though. I looked them up and yeah. The 2 like season 5 episodes of Ed, Edd n Eddy or something like that. I want to see that image again. The sass. I'm gonna make like a collection of like sass poses for Pearl because holy shit, the sassiest. She do be like sassed up. Gecko gloves are real and they're not battery powered. I'm Googling this because I'm curious now. Gecko gloves. Can you straight up climb glass, though? Gecko gloves. Okay, Reddit. Gecko gloves let a person scale glass walls. Let me see this. Is this real? This is like fake news, right? Interesting. It's like some fucking Stanford experiment, and they're demonstrating it by climbing a glass surface. Interesting. I'm not going to show that. That's something you can probably Google. I'm not dwelling on it too much. It wouldn't work on fucking rock surface, though. It probably needs to be smooth. This is also a sass face. Little silicone flaps that imitate how geckos stick to surfaces. That's fucking neat. I saw some, like, electron microscope images on this article. She's sass and salt. I don't know. Is Peridot more salty? I had this joke back when I made Crystal Sins and when I streamed Overwatch for the first time. There was a character, not a character. There's a player in one of my games named Salty Bob, and the chat at that point joked that Salty Bob would have been the fusion of Pearl and Lapis, with the joke being that Lapis was Bob in the baseball episode. Peridot is just a gremlin? Yeah. I'm gonna have a big conniption when Peridot shows up again, because she is not in fact a triangle. Her head, including her hair, is a kite. Like, mathematically, it is a kite. It's not a triangle. Maybe in some shots she's more triangular, but in most shots she has a kite head. That's when I'm also going to change the thumbnail to say geometry instead of gemology. This is a kite in mathematics. There we go. Area equals P times Q over 2. It's whatever the 3D equivalent of what that is. It's probably like a triangular prism or something. See, Peridot, her head is the closer to that. Even in like when it almost looks like a triangle, it's still closer to a kite. You know? I don't know. I like this, whoa. Steven looking straight into the fucking camera. It's very cursed. It's because this also sticks out to a point facing backwards. Yeah, I guess so. She's like a D8. But wait, no. She'd be like a D4, right? I don't know if we're getting into D&D territory again. Talking about fucking dice. I talked about D&D for like 30 minutes last stream yesterday. Why does Pearl get so angry at, like, Steven calling things the wrong name when he absolutely would not have known those names? Like, Pearl is the fucking only person who would have known these names. D infinity would never resolve because it's in choosing a number out of infinity is impossible. You can never make a device to pick any number out of infinity. Unless you picked like 6 just to be funny. Whose armor and weapons are these? I think, again, I made the point all the way back in Lion 2, the movie, that these were the armor that were the suits of armor that were possessed by the gem shards that show up in Frybo. Because Pearl talks about living armor and stuff in that episode. I think that's what these are. Because these never show up again. Again, weird Season 1 things that never appear ever again. There's a fucking samurai armor. That's cool. Like Imperial Japanese goddamn cool shit. You can't pick any number out of infinity. That is true because infinity is not a number. Infinity is very abstract. D infinity can work as any dice. Well, that's just Binding of Isaac rules. I gotta play more Binding of Isaac. Also, I'm just realizing this. Each armor set here, there's at least 2 of. Because it seems like a lot of these are, like, turnarounds of one set. Like, this one, and this one seem to just be, like, mirrored on the y-axis. If that makes any sense. And then, this one is also, like, that same set from the front. There's a lot of... I never noticed this before. And I noticed it because I saw this helmet with the weird fucking ear spikes. And then, like, right across from it is the same helmet with the same ear spikes. So they're not as, like... And then the samurai armor right next to it. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15? 16? 15? I don't know. I forgot which one I started on. That was made for a goblin. Goblins canon in Steven Universe. They existed at one point and went extinct. Or were there gems that were goblins? Like, the idea of armor belonging to humans who fought the crystal gems makes sense that Rose would memorialize them. I don't think this is a memorial because this is secret. It's hidden. A memorial would be, like, public to tell people, like, hey, these were the fallen... The fucking... Like, you wouldn't have a war memorial and then just, like, put it in, like, a bunker in a government building or something that only government officials could access. Steven Universe Goblin Theory. That's gonna be one of those, we had this discussion on Discord a while back. On YouTube, in, like, YouTube Studio, there's a tab that, has the whole tab is like AI generated fucking video ideas. It's like, here's the history and backstory of this thing, and it's all like this AI generated like summary and like how the video would play out. And then it generates thumbnails, which is cringe. It's really weird, but I feel like Steven Universe Goblin Theory would have been one of those AI generated fucking AI generated video suggestions from YouTube. There's a lot of good, I mean, it's a Pearl episode, so there's a lot of good Pearl faces. Every time there's a Pearl focus episode, there's a lot of good Pearl faces. Because she's best at faces. Probably be like the goblins from Smiling Friends. I don't know what the goblins from Smiling Friends looks like. They're all Hispanic? Hold on. Goblin caught on tape. That's all I know. Oh, yeah, okay. I remember these guys. It's been a while. Smiling Friends is nuts. Someone should do a smileology or something. Dental work. I don't know. You call it dental. Something. Because you're what was I gonna... there's a lot of, like, background shit. I don't know about, like, lore in Smiling Friends. I feel like in Smiling Friends there is a lot of, like, world planned out for that show. I think someone could do a overanalyzing Avatar Gemology type series for that show. I didn't realize she's, like, crying in this scene. Or, like, this early on in the scene. I have to start thinking about, like, why there aren't more episode by episode reviews of shows like mine and like overanalyzing Avatar and all that. And I guess I have a theory of that. It's a lot of work. That's one thing. But it's also, what was I going to say? I think a lot of people get scared of copyright. Like, you upload a review of an episode, and then it gets copyright claimed, and then people, like, don't want to fight it. And they just give up because it's like, oh, it's spooky copyright law. It's a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work. I guess people... I don't know, but, like, if I had to give someone a suggestion for, like, starting a YouTube channel, if someone wants to start a YouTube channel and they don't know what the subject would be, I would literally just tell them, do what I do for, like, a different show. Just, like, find a show that nobody has done an episode by episode review of, and then just do that. If you're looking to find success, I will be honest. I did not imagine Gemology would be this, like, successful. Maybe about half is what I am right now, but I don't know. There's no way for me to have predicted any of that. We're coming up on 1 year of me doing this, which is insane. That would be easy. There's a lot of shows like that. Yeah, I was thinking before I started this series, I had a thought, like, I was, like, weighing my options. Do I want to do Adventure Time or Steven Universe? And I settled on Steven Universe because I just know more about it. Gemology is one part that revived the fan base in present day along with Lars of the Stars. I find it insane that I started this like right before Lars of the Stars came out. Or got announced, rather. Whoa, came out. Freudian slip. I've already seen Lars of the Stars. Whoa. What if I had? What if I just had seen Lars of the Stars and I've just been hiding it from all of you? What if I just said that I did, like I have seen like the first episode storyboards for it? If I said that, would you guys believe me? Would you think I'm lying? Overthinking Futurama is great. Yeah, I am subscribed to that one, but they don't... That guy doesn't upload all that often. It's kind of disappointing. That's why I started Gemology, and I kind of told myself, like, immediately, even, like, long before I started, I'm like, I'm going to do once a week. So I don't end up becoming, like, overthinking Futurama and disappearing for months. I bet these strawberries taste good as hell. Hold on. Look at those strawberries. Holy fuck. That's like a pumpkin. It's like a strawberry, like a pumpkin-sized mutant strawberry. How was Lars of the Stars? Well, I can't tell you. I'm under non-disclosure agreement. Or am I? Do the gem corpses make them taste better? Yeah, they're like magic. They taste really good. What if I just made a community post and just said, just like one sentence, just say I've seen the first episode of Lars of the Stars? Like how many comments would there be saying that like you're bullshit? No way. There's no way you've seen that. But I seen it. I can't tell you if I'm lying or not, because if I'm lying about shit like this, it's kind of funny to say that I'm lying and just it's true. I don't know. I open the stream and the first thing I hear is gem corpses. Yeah, this is a battlefield. There's like gem shards everywhere. And a million strawberries. Each one of these like little dots is a strawberry. And then there's these big fucking basketball-sized strawberries in the background. But we won. Yeah. The Backyardigans wiki. I saw that. It was a video about like the lost media. Was it Down the Rabbit Hole? No. Who made that video? The Backyardigans, like the pilot. Where the wiki mods were just like hoarding it the whole time. Its sword has a gem on it? Yeah. It might not be like a gem. Well, maybe it is. It could be it could be like a sentient sword. But that has long since been corrupted. You know, like there's plenty of technology, gem technology that is powered by like a gem embedded into a device, like the mirror and the temple in Sirius Steven and things like that. Maybe strawberries are the ones Rose cried over about loss of her friends, so they grew bigger. Well, do you not realize that that would have been 6,000 years ago? Or if not, it would have been at least like 12 or 13 years ago, because that would have been before Steven was born. I don't think a strawberry could last 12 or 13 years, even if it is magic. I don't know. Does the rose crying also bestow, you know, it can revive from the dead, sure, but can it bestow immortality? Is that real? Also, it's not pink, so it can't be risen from the fucking dead. I don't know. Why is this like Norway? Who decided that this was Norway? I've seen these like on the wiki and stuff. I've seen things that are listed definitively as like this is in Norway and this is in fucking like Malaysia or whatever. I don't know. And I just like, where does that information come from? I'm not sure. Buddy's book? Maybe. I gotta... That's a episode that I'm actually really excited to get to. Weirdly enough, in any other case, I would call Historical Friction and Buddy's book, like, kind of useless, but in a... Not useless, but not very exciting is probably a better phrase. But I'm excited to get to them because of Gemology, because they're going to be really fucking fun to, like, put these pieces together. One location you could see the map, or one episode you could see the map location for this place. Okay. Do you think Rose ever tried crying on Greg's growing bald spot? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of funny to think about. What if Rose just saw that bald spot at one point and she just like, it just made her upset to see it. Your hair, and she starts fucking sobbing. Historical Friction is neat also because it's the first depiction of obsidian other than the statue. I think Rose would have liked his bald spot because that shows that he changes. Oh, that's so... You're so right. God damn. That's a little bit fucked, but that's... Like, you're... I can't argue with that. That's, like, totally true. Why doesn't Rose Quartz just, like, shapeshift a bald spot if she likes it so much? Rose Bald Arc. Can we get... Okay, so Steven with, I'm thinking about this. This image. Nope. Wait. Like bald Steven from Mindful Education. Like this, but rose quartz. I think that I don't know. I'm just imagining that in my fucking brain. If I was better at drawing, I would draw it myself. In fact, I may draw that myself, like sketch it tomorrow or later after the stream or something. I don't know. Connie, I'm bald. That's a really weird opening to that episode. What other scenes do people want to see in this episode specifically? Someone mentioned that in the comments, mentioned that I skipped over Amethyst being all Like, I think Amethyst gets defensive because she just puts back the same energy that Pearl's giving out. It's showing how different Amethyst and Garnet react to, like, discourse. Garnet just kind of shuts up and keeps to herself, and Amethyst fucking lashes back. Rose, not again. I keep telling you it's a culture, not a costume. What, being bald? I keep forgetting that frame is from an episode and not from that Sans thing. Oh yeah, that Steven after not surviving. How do gems feel about jewelry? I don't know if there is... I've been thinking about... I've thought about this before. Like, months ago. Is there any jewelry other than, like, rings and necklaces with, like, actual jewels in, like, ever depicted in this show? I mean, there's this big fucking, like, crystal in the background. That's not, like, living as far as I can tell. It's just a big, cool fucking hunk of rock that's shiny. What's on the birthday crown? Probably, like, plastic, right? Hold on. I don't think there's any jewelry on the birthday crown. Let me see the, This is the birthday crown. It's just like a plastic heart. Like purple and gold heart. That's it. With a fucking candle, I guess. Very, very strange episode, that one. I'm gonna look up, like, jewelry. I mean, it's probably gonna be fucking... Yeah, it's all, like, Etsy shop jewelry. Like, real gemstones that are in, depicting the fucking crystal gems. But how would Pearl react to someone wearing, like, Lisa Simpson-ass pearl necklace? Where did Rose get the fake pink diamond? She, like, made it out of dirt, right? She just diamond powers. She can, like, create fucking crystals. I don't know. I guess not every gem in this show is gonna be sentient, which is again evidenced by the rock TM. Where's the rock? The rock, this thing. This is a big, like, probably an amethyst crystal, right? Yeah, like, I've seen similar things in real life, like the big fucking huge purple crystals that are like amethysts. There's got to be some process that they have to do to a mineral to, like, in the crust to make them magic. I don't fucking know. And the geode. Well, the geode is magic. I know that. We all know that. Non-alive rocks are like eggs in our fridges. Weird. That's an interesting way to put it. That, like, if you did the right stuff to this rock, it could become... If Steven cried on it, he, like, makes living pebbles. So if Steven cried on this big crystal, could it be, like, a new fucked up amethyst? Now I can imagine Amethyst rising up from the geode eggs like the Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings. Interesting way to think about that. Oh, speaking of orcs and in context of Steven Universe, I was, have any of you guys played the board game Blood Bowl? There's this game that's, a spin-off of a spin-off of... It's a spin-off of a spin-off of Warhammer 40k. And it's like fantasy football, but it's fantasy. Like, you got goblins and orcs and elves and dwarves. And trolls and giants and all that. And it's a board game. And it's football. But I was thinking about this, like, what if Blood Bowl, but it's Steven Universe characters, like gems? I think it'd be fun. I don't know. It's a Blood Bowl. I would like a physical copy of it. I have 2 different video game versions of that, but a physical copy would be cool at some point. Ronaldo would be all over that. They're polymorphic sentient rocks, but they're playing football. I don't think Ronaldo would be into football. Let me show you guys Blood Bowl for the uninformed. Blood Bowl. This is it. Blood Bowl. It's football. Like, your goal is you're trying to get the character with the ball to the end zone, and there's, like, every time you pass by a square that's adjacent to another character or another mini from the other team, you have to roll these, like, chances to get knocked down or to, like, stop or whatever. I like this game. I played it physically once, and then the other times I've only played it as a video game. Which I found out there's like a really old Blood Bowl video game for like the Super Nintendo or something. I'm gonna look at that Pearl face from back. The Pearl Ed and Nettie face. Double D looking ass. MS-DOS version of Blood Bowl. Okay, Jesus. Quartz versus Quartz in an NFL game in 2030. Can we get... I'm hoping Lars of the Stars wish list is them watching a all-gem football team, like getting an Earth broadcast, and it's like a gem. It's an all quartz football team or all gem football team or something, or like ruby basketball where the rubies all fuse and then dunk. They're passing it to each other, and then they fuse and then dunk. Yeah. Pearl analog horror face. Yeah, this is a bit of a creepypasta face. When did creepypasta? I guess it's not like creepypasta is written and analog horror is video, right? I guess they overlap quite a bit. And maybe an analog horror is a type of like. If you had like a Venn diagram of creepypasta and analog horror, it would almost be a circle. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Creepypasta's got an image. Yeah, like Smile Dog. Can I show you guys Smile Dog for the uninformed? No, I'm not going to do that. I won't subject you to that. That shit freaked me out as a kid. As like a little 11-year-old looking at images on the internet, and I was looking at like Jeff the Killer and Smile Dog. Freaked me out. Sorry. I had to. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry if you're like watching this in the dark on like a big screen or something. It's weird that, okay, I shouldn't say this because this is pretty typical for Season 1, but this armory never appears ever again. Are these axes cool? They're just pretty standard like Viking axes. Who is the heretic's anguish? Let's talk about heresy in the context of gems. At least give us the original photo with husky pog face. I don't know about... I don't... This one? Wait. This is a husky pug mix. Oh, this is the husky pog. Okay, hold on. Yeah, pogging husky. This is a good image. This is some eye bleach for what I subjected to you before. A human would not have a good time wielding this. Yeah, because you would just smash your own fucking torso in. I don't like this. I guess I get the ones on the wrist. I don't understand the ones like on the elbows and the armpits and stuff. It's very... I don't understand. This... Maybe this is a form of punishment? This is not a... I mean, it's part of an armory, so you assume it's a weapon. But this looks like... This looks like a torture device. Something that, you know, the heretic's anguish. It's something that you would chain to a heretic, and they'd have to, like, T-pose forever, and if they drop it, then they would, like, crush their fucking knees. Yeah, torture device. That's what I'm thinking. Why it's part of an armory is lost on me. Greg and Rose both have a storage unit. That is true. Wait. Yeah. They're both hoarders. Rose just has like a hermetic sealed fucking magical storage unit instead. What is this thing powered by? I would guess... I was about to ask this question myself, and I would probably just guess it's powered by Steven's own gem. You know? Because it doesn't seem to do anything until Steven's there, right? That also makes me think that perhaps the temple, the rooms of the temple are also powered by their respective gems. You know, the whole phrase, it exists as long as I exist. Like the room wouldn't exist unless there's a gem inside, and that gem is like there. I don't know. Does Pearl even know about the penny? I really think the penny was just a gag, since it appears once and it has no significance. It's a gag. Wouldn't Bismuth have made the place? Well, I don't think so. I think it's possible that it could have just been Rose who made it. Rose is capable. She's a fucking diamond. Because one of them, like Rose or one of the crystal gems, would have had to make the temple because it has amethysts. It has a room for amethyst, meaning it could not have been made when Bismuth was around, because Bismuth and Amethyst had never met. Excuse me. Hold on, I'm gonna mute and cough. Okay, get that out of my system. Sorry for, like, the clicking, the fucking booming noises that I do when I turn my microphone off. I didn't mute it in the software. I muted it by literally shutting the power off to the microphone. Me when I eat too much cheese. And it's time to go. Is that a sad, lonely pepper shaker? Or is this two shakers? Oh, maybe one's... I don't know. Very odd. Also, the stools. I gotta make... So, you may have noticed that I now have, like, a shop. I now have, like, shirts that say Gemology on them, and that's it. That's all they are. Shirts and hat. A hat. I gotta make a shirt. There's enough interest in, like, Gemology shirts and stuff that I decided to do a little shop thing. I gotta do a shirt that's like the stools. Like the circle one, and then the square one with the back, and then the square one with no back, and then nothing. In like a grid. I think that would be a good shirt. Stool continuity. If we ever get to a point, I haven't looked too far ahead. When I initially started talking about stools, I looked ahead enough to see the square ones with the backs, but not far enough to see these. So I don't know if, like, coming up we're gonna have something even fucking crazier, like hexagons or something. Stool moment. I like this. I saw this frame in the timeline and I like it, so I'm just stopping on it. Rose and Pink are dual identities, though she changed her name as she didn't want to be Pink Diamond anymore. Yeah, it's just like changing your... It was a dual identity for a while during like the war DM, and not like after she gave up her Pink Diamond identity at one point, but she was running both at a certain point. Double agent style. I go to the bathroom the same time every day. Call that stool continuity. That is better stool continuity than this show has. It's wild to imagine how that double agent war period played out on a day-to-day basis. Do you think there were any gems out there, like, during the war? Any fucking, like, quartzes or jaspers or whatever saying... Yeah, you ever notice how you never seen rose quartz and pink diamond in the same place? Do you think Rose as Pink Diamond would have overheard that and just, like, maybe that's the heretic's anguish? Because it's like, that's like blasphemy, right? To question your diamond. So then, like, that's how you would, like, punish. I don't fucking know. I don't know where I was going with that. Was Pink Diamond shattered pre or post Garnet? I think it's post Garnet. Because I think like immediately, like maybe a year or two after the war had been going on for a while before the whole shattering. So I think like immediately after the shattering, like the rest of Homeworld abandoned Earth and fucking tried to vaporize it with their with the Diamond's blast. I don't have any evidence for that. I could probably dig some up, but I don't know. I feel like Garnet, other than Rose Quartz and Pearl, I think Garnet was like one of the first crystal gems. If the war lasted 1,000 years, I'm gonna stop you right there. I find it very hard to believe that the war would have lasted 1,000 years. Let me look up a transcript of the answer. Because, let me see, because... where is the transcript? Why is fandom.com such an ass website? I am trying to find the right line, but I cannot, I don't know. I've lost what I was trying to find because my brain has turned off. I should not have started this stream so late, but also I had to because I was going to my parents' house and stealing a bunch of their fucking Thanksgiving leftovers. Do you guys know about creamed peas? Have you ever had creamed peas? It's like a Thanksgiving staple for my family. Creamed peas, they're fucking delicious. Let me find a picture. Oh, I just closed the Skyrim music. Shit. Give me that back. Give me that tab back. Creamed peas. Creamed corn? It's pretty similar. It's you take peas, fresh or frozen, you cook them into like a roux, maybe not a roux, but like a flour and milk and cream mixture, milk or cream, a little sugar maybe. Peas don't really need sugar, but it turns into this. Let me open this image. This is okay. The meta for creamed peas is you get your mashed potatoes, you make like a divot, you make like a well, a basin, and then you put the creamed peas in the mashed potato basin. Like, you don't need gravy if you have this shit. You get mashed potatoes and you put creamed peas over. It's delicious. I'm not talking about like I'm not talking about like mashed peas or anything. I'd try it. I'm not going to be a hater. That's a good mindset for food. I like... Okay, Pearl's doing the hand thing, first of all. I have found that I don't really dislike any food. I'm really trying to think of a food that I just do not like, and I can't. I think the food, maybe caviar. Like, I've had caviar. It was really fucking salty, and I just didn't get it. I'll probably never buy it again, but if I had the opportunity, if someone gave it to me again, I'd probably eat it. That's about the mindset that I have. Like, I'll eat fucking anything. If you invite me over to your home and prepare literally any dish, I will eat it, so long as it's prepared correctly. And not, like, burnt or fucking, like, raw chicken or something. I never noticed in this frame that Pearl looks fucking pissed at Steven. I didn't notice the eyebrows. Her eyes were so big. I thought she was just, like, surprised. But no, she's fucking peeved. She's pissed off. How dare you be born, Steven? How fucking dare he? That's kind of what she's pissed off about, is that Steven's here and Rose Quartz is gone, and it's the reason that Steven's here is because Rose Quartz is gone, and the reason Rose Quartz is gone is because Steven is here. Like, I can understand why she'd be pissed, but that fucking sucks. I guess is that the same fucking premise as goddamn Wicked? Is it literally the same premise? That what's her name? Elphaba's mother died during birth of her sister, and the reason is because her father fed her mother fucking, like, poison shit to, like, prevent her sister from being green. Is that I need to rewatch that movie before I go see the second one because I don't remember. I never said she's mad. I think she's pissed. Look at how Steven floating and then he drops. That's his floaty power. They introduce his floaty power. And now she looks concerned because Steven's gonna fucking die. I don't think I saw a comment about this. I agree with the comment. I don't think Steven needed to fall to the very bottom to make this moment as dramatic as it is. I think he could have grabbed onto it much earlier and just like maybe halfway down instead of right at the bottom, so it looked like if he messed up grabbing that, he would have fucking died. It makes Pearl look a little bit less like a total fucking negligent caretaker. Where are these roots growing from? That is a good question. These aren't just grass roots, because the only thing that's on this island is fucking grass. Unless it's like mycelium from like a mushroom colony. It's these bushes. These bushes have crazy roots. Whoa, whoa. Weird face. This almost looks like those racist, like, cartoons of Chinese people from the fucking 30s or whatever. Where they'd give them squinty eyes and, like, really big teeth. I don't know why that's, like, immediately where my mind went to, but that's what my mind went to. Let's look at that ending scene. Also, Pearl in a top hat. Is this fucking foreshadowing what do you call it? Mr. Greg? Pearl looks good in a goddamn top hat. I will be totally honest. Calling Asian people Chinese is kind of racist as well. I agree. I think those cartoons were specifically trying to depict Chinese people, however. So if I said Asian and then Chinese, I was be correcting myself to try to specifically say Chinese. Probably also Japanese people in World War II. Yeah, that's also true. This flag never gets, like, explanation, just like an implied thing by Pearl right here. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is that, like, you ever see that Phineas, for, like, you know, Phineas and Ferb? Phineas looking straight into the camera, like the cursed frame of him turning his head and looking straight at the camera. That's, like, the same energy here. Cross-eyed. She's staring at it like a bug on her nose or something. How much of her vision is, like, blocked by her big schnoz? There we go. Same energy, you know. Except Phineas looks like a fucking goldfish from this angle. Or like a duck. Yeah, maybe a duck. I don't know. He doesn't have a bill, but I do have a lot of duck depiction experience, so I think this frame is pretty good. Very, she's also doing the hand thing in this frame, so that's makes it extra good. Oh, I gotta make a hand thing. Sure. I'm gonna do like a picture of my hand, and it's doing the hand thing. It's a very cursed frame. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save this one for later. Ooh, wait. If you're in Blender, the shortcut for saving a frame is F12, if any of you are curious. Also, I have to reiterate that I edit these videos in Blender. Because a lot of people are always fucking... I like to say it because I like to hear people's reactions when I say that. Because they're like, you can do that? Like, you can edit videos in Blender? I use print screen or Windows key Shift S. Well, Windows key Shift S doesn't do anything on my computer because I don't use Windows. I love this shot. I love this shot too. There's a lot of like, again, the implications of Pearl. You know, Steven looks satisfied. Lion looks like Lion. He's just chilling. He's vibing. Pearl looks like, you know, 1,000-yard stare. She looks like she is fucking hiding something. Why do you use Blender? Is it just a familiarity thing, or is there a feature you like? Again, I'm using Linux. Blender just works on Linux. Secondly, it's kind of a personal thing that I promised myself at a certain point that for any creative projects I would use like free and open source software. And Blender is free and open source. Just because I had that issue with Adobe, that they kept like changing their terms of service and stuff. I used to use Adobe Premiere to edit videos, which if I were to suggest a video editing software to anyone, it would 100% be Adobe Premiere if you can afford it. If not, then like Sony Vegas or something, or DaVinci Resolve. Anyway, I picked Blender because I tried some other video editing software made for Linux, and they were like really fucking slow and clunky and stuff. I don't know. There's certain things they just didn't like. They didn't flow very well. But Blender is neat. I don't recommend it at all. Like I don't think anyone should, besides me, basically should be using Blender for editing videos, because there's a lot of features that are missing, and if you don't know how to make like shaders and stuff, then you're out of luck on certain things. So the point being that there's never going to be a moment where Blender is not available for me to download and to use, and they're never going to be like Unity, the Unity game engine. This is also why I use Godot for making games. They started like charging out the ass for people. Like, you know, I think they backtracked on this. This was like several years ago. they started charging like crazy for people to fucking publish their games, like based on how many people had downloaded their games. And like there was nothing those creators could do because they were releasing their games for free. Like there was no way to pay them back for that. So free open source software, you can do whatever you fucking want with it. Nobody's there to stop you, and there's no terms of service to agree to. It's good. It's a personal thing to me. I wouldn't try to like suggest other people do what I do. I need to find a good music and a drawing program. If you want music, here's a good one. There's a media server software called Jellyfin. You can have, I use it for my own like personal Netflix basically. Like I have DVDs, I rip DVDs, I save them onto a computer that's running Jellyfin, and then I can connect to Jellyfin from anywhere and watch those shows and movies and stuff that I had ripped. You can also do music, so you can make a Jellyfin server in any like MP3s, or you can rip CDs and put it on there. Same idea. You can. It's open source and free. It's cool. Krita for drawing. I have Krita. I use Krita for thumbnails. Music making. Ooh, I don't know about that one. That one's a tougher one to pick. I don't know nothing about music making. I thought you meant like streaming music. I haven't used Krita for drawing all that much, but I use Krita for thumbnails and a little bit of photo editing. I find GIMP is easier for photo editing. Making chiptune? Ooh, check. For chiptune, here's this. Tick 80. Whoa, there we go. Check this out. This is a microcomputer. Or it's a tiny computer. Excuse me. It has, whoops. Help commands. So there's new. Whoops. New Lua. I don't fucking know. There's a way to... Oh, yeah. If you go here, it's a fucking chiptune thing. I don't know how to use this. I've never done it before, but if you want straight chiptune, this is what you do. You can make... Yeah, it's kind of neat. I don't... dude. I don't know. I'm not a... I can do music with an instrument in my hands. Like, if I had a physical fucking keyboard or guitar in my hands, I could do it. I, however, cannot make digital music. I've tried and failed. Not failed necessarily, but it just didn't interest me enough. Tick 80 is... Oh. Excuse me. If you just want chiptune, that's all. You can literally make songs and then export it. It doesn't have to be like games. I don't know about like a DAW for like free open source DAW. Let me Google that. Free open DAW. Well, I can't give a recommendation on these because I don't ever use a DAW. I have one friend who uses Ableton, which is not free and not open source and does not run on Linux. Look at this chasm, by the way. Do we ever return to this chasm? This proto kindergarten? My favorite DAW is pirating Ableton, but I didn't say that. I said that. I said that reading a chat message. I can say anything during a stream and just say I'm just reading chat. Isn't that crazy? FL Studio is good, but it's 200. If you, I would only justify software expenses like that if you were able to deduct it from your fucking taxes. Like if you have a business and all that. Gaslighting level up. Yeah, if I'm streaming, I can just say anything. Anything I fucking want, and I can just say, oh, I was just reading chat. I was reading chat, and then I deleted that guy's message. I was just reading chat. No, I deleted that guy's message. No, of course you're not gonna find it because it's absurd. Why would anyone say that? Why is this warp pad pink? Is this a secret warp pad? Is this a rose quartz only warp pad? Why is the warp pad pink? Someone said it right as I did it. I have one gaslighting. Yeah, but I have to be streaming. Rose putting this there, saying no one will ever suspect me, because Rose just compulsively makes everything pink without trying. She gets done placing this here, and she's like, "Fuck!" If she placed this here, why didn't she? Why didn't she just put this pink one in the armory? You know. It's straight up pink because like the blue and white beam is blue and white. It's not. I don't know. Very odd. This is such a big, like, location that just never gets brought back up. Trans warp pad? Gender reveal warp pad? Also, the armory looks like a compass. A compass rose, if you will. Warp pads are huge and seem difficult to transport. Yeah, we see during the movie, right, where they're like installing a warp pad and it's fucking, it's like bigger. It kind of has to like socket into the ground. Hold on. Yeah, it's got like, let's see. Picture, why is it on Reddit? I wish this image was not on Reddit. Because Reddit, like, forces you to look at, the goddamn... It forces you to, like, have their banner. God damn Christ, dude. Okay, never mind. We've all seen the movie. We know that the warp pads are like they have to like plug into a certain spot. They're like a they have to like sock it into place. I think they are just gem tech. They're not non-sentient gems. I guess all gem tech does have some kind of real like gem component. You missed everything. He found the cure to cancer. Yeah, it'll be in the VOD. Unless the fucking deep state mutes the VOD because they don't want you to know about the cure for cancer because they have the cure to cancer and they are hiding it. But you didn't hear that from me. Rose is an Oath of Redemption paladin. Are we on D&D again? Also, is this a Metal Gear reference, perhaps? I gotta play a Metal Gear game at some point. Oh wait, this is not a goblin helmet. It has fucking wings. After, like, hours of having looked at the fucking armors, thinking that these are... No, that is a goblin helmet. This is the wing helmet. That's a fucking goblin ear helmet. What? That was weird. I thought it was just, like... That other shot was just, like, the goblin helmet, but more detailed. But no, this is the wing helmet. Goblin theories stay winning. Yeah, I think goblins existed in the show. It's true. Peridot should wear the goblin armor? Well, Peridot's not a goblin. She's a gremlin. There's a difference. I guess gremlins... Do gremlins have big ears? I don't know. I remember seeing that movie as a kid. Or rather, yeah, gremlins have big fucking ears. I saw that movie as a kid. I was flipping through channels on the TV. I was at my, like, grandma's house or something. And I stopped on one channel where they were playing Gremlins. And it was the scene where she fucking microwaves one of them and it explodes in the microwave, and I was like freaked out. I was like 4 or 5 years old at this point. Are there any gems with ears? Amethyst has ears. Not in most episodes, but she has ears. She had him in Beach Party. She has him in when she reforms in the Slinker episode. What is that one called? I forget. Goblin girl with gremlin mentality. That's like my ideal woman. What do you... Jesus. I don't know. Chat said it. I wasn't me. No, okay. I don't know. I thought that would be a funny phrase to say. Goblin girl with gremlin mentality. That phrase is gonna live in my fucking head for a long time. Just find an artist. It's hard to find an artist without... I talked about, like, facial piercings yesterday on stream, and it was like, I'm not a fan of facial piercings. They weird me out. It's hard to find an artist without facial piercings. Ideal woman. Goblin. Maybe I'm stereotyping. Maybe I'm profiling. I don't know what else to talk about for this episode because we I didn't mention the one of my favorite jokes in this one. I felt like there were other things to talk about. Where Steven goes, I need one of those all the time. Like when Garnet has the big axe. It's kind of a joke that like you can only make once ever. Like this joke will never be made ever again. Because this is the only instance of a character having a big fucking axe and saying, you never know when you're gonna need one of these. Are you giving out exposure? Hell yeah. She's a 10, but she's a goblin? That would make her a fucking 12. An 11 or 12. Would you date a goblin? It's like a straight up goblin. Only if cute? Yeah, she's like a cute goblin. Or like if you're into boy goblins, then it's like a cute boy goblin. It's a cute goblin. What the fuck do goblins even do? They make gold. They hoard gold. No, that's dragons. Wait, goblins do that too, though. No, goblins hoard like trash, and dragons hoard gold. And they're conniving. Femboy goblin. I would, you know, if there's a real life goblin girl who was into me, I'd say fuck it. Goblin GF. Fuck it. Goblins. I have a thing in my Pathfinder campaign that I've mentioned before. The goblins in this world are like they're really organized. Like everything they ever pilfer or or store or trade or whatever is all documented. Like they keep really good records of everything. I don't know. I like thinking about fantasy. It's fun. Like traditional fantasy with fucking goblins and elves and fuck elves though. Fuck them. They're all arrogant always. Dwarves are cool. I would have beers with dwarves. I like that it seems like your default mental goblin is female, but you allow for the possibility of male goblins. Well, look, maybe the goblins are like, you know, dwarves are like default male. Like there's, when you think of a dwarf, you always think of like this bearded masculine character. What if goblins were all like women? I don't fucking know. Pearl is an elf? Yeah, she's racist against humans. She's got, like, elf mentality. I think fantasy racism is, like, the most fun. Because, like, you know, calling an elf, like, a knife-eared leaf lover. Like, no one's gonna ever... A knife-eared, tree-climbing leaf lover. Nobody's gonna get offended at that because elves aren't real. But you can be as racist as you want. I don't know, it's funny to me. We need a list of gem slurs for humans. Yeah, if you want to clip that. Knife-eared tree-climbing leaf lover. Gem slurs for humans. Like, what a gem would call a human as, like, an insult. I know meatbag is one of those, but that's, like, a robot. I guess, like, anything a robot... Anything is basically that Bender calls humans in Futurama. Meatbag is a good one. That's, like, a classic. Are we talking about a list of slurs for gems? Because rock people is already in the show. That's pretty good. Organics, yeah. Go back to Homeworld. My friend has a character in her campaign that's just a racist dwarf and calls the elf in our group a tree hugger. That's pretty... I mean, that's classic. Dwarf and elf, like... Dwarves and elves being racist toward each other is like a staple of fantasy settings. For gems, the uncle called them illegal aliens. It brings into question how like legally speaking, how are the gems on Earth? Claude is good. Claude is Peridot's thing. I had this idea of like a running gag I wanted to try. I wanted to edit out when Peridot gets to saying Claude. I wanted to edit out every instance of her saying Claude, but I think that would be like too it would fuck up the continuity of like a lot of episodes. Like the way characters interact just wouldn't work all that much if I did that. Plus it would be a fuckload of editing to like find every instance of her saying Claude. She's doing the hand thing, by the way. Just bleep it out. Could do. But now that I've said something about it, it wouldn't be that funny because everyone in here knows that I'd be doing that. Bleeping it would be funnier. Maybe. I think that, you know... that's a pretty funny idea. I'll think about it because that could be fun. That's like 30 people. That's true. The whole town's gonna be there, Steven. That's like 13 people. 15 people. If I have to like erase this part of the stream to get rid of all evidence that I would be doing this, then I might. Just so nobody would be able to go back to and say like I was there when someone gave me that suggestion or whatever. This diamond emblem on the shield. When I made the Serious Steven video way back when. Holy shit, when was that? That's like the 6th episode of the whole show, right? I talked about the diamond emblem on the shield, and there was like a spike in viewers. They keep like going back to look at the diamond on the shield. It's pretty fucking neat. Pick a character to just never mention. Yeah. Just pretend Peridot is swearing and it'll get you demonetized. No, because I can say piss, shit, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits in the first 2 seconds of a video, and it's not gonna get me demonetized. YouTube like totally 180'd on the whole swearing thing. There's no repercussions for swearing anymore. I can make a list of like every swear that I've gotten away with saying without being demonetized. I'll like keep a running tally of like different shit. Just never mention Topaz. What if I did what's the Monster Reunion? Not Monster. Well, yeah, Monster Buddies and then Monster Reunion. What if I did Monster Reunion and just never mentioned fucking Nephrite, the Centipedal? Like pretend it's a different character or something, I don't know. That'd be harder to do. It'd be harder to pull off a it would have to be one of the off colors, because everyone loves the off colors. And if I just ignored like Padparacha or someone, I think it would be funny to read the comments and saying like why no Padparacha mention or whatever. Too late to just never mention Steven? True. Alright, chat room. It is getting to that point in the stream. We're about 2 hours, just under 2 hours. We only had the one episode to cover, and I already did a 2-hour stream yesterday as well. My voice is fine, it's holding up, but I think we've gotten to that point where there's not a lot left to talk about in the episode. So I think it's high time that I stop soon and go to sleepy. Padparacha becomes a cabbages guy. That's kind of what I was thinking of. Like I want to just ignore, like pretend Padparacha just doesn't exist. Like pretend the cabbage guy doesn't exist in Overanalyzing Avatar. Weird to think that there are people who watch Gemology who have never seen Overanalyzing Avatar. I've seen tier lists where people like ignore, they just like have they have like all the characters all like lined up, and they have them by the end of it there's just one left over, and they just don't mention it. Yeah, the cabbage guy only shows up one time ever. Wait, what cabbage guy? There's no cabbage guy. Cabbage guy. It's not real. My superpower is forgetting things. It's like reverse future vision, but instead of seeing things that happened in the past, it's forgetting things that like just happened. Yeah, the Rutile twins, like, they're easy. The way you say it, they're easy to ignore. They're just not very characterized. They don't have like a personality. She's voiced by Ashley Birch. That's the voice of fucking Miss Pauling in Team Fortress 2. I love Ashley Birch. Well, I've seen Lars of the Stars. We all know this. Ashley Birch voices Rutile twins. I swear to God, this is real. I'm not lying. I've seen Lars of the Stars. Seen it. The Rutile twins will not date the Scout. Fuck. Wait. Has someone done fan art of that twin of the Rutile twins like dressed as Miss Pauling with the fucking glasses? I forgot she also voiced Tiny Tina in Borderlands. Borderlands 2 and 3, I believe. No one's done a Miss Pauling cosplay for the Rutile twins. That's lame. Someone do that. Someone get on that. Quick. I don't know. I think Vondell is still here. I remember you mentioning my watch is going off. I remember you mentioning that you're gonna do a different drawing exercise at some point. What if drawing gems dressed as characters that their voice actor has done before? I don't know. That'd be neat. Just an idea. Or reverse, like a gem version of like a different character. I don't know. I think that would be harder. Are there any voice actors in the show that have only ever voiced a character in the show? I don't know. Rose as Meg from Hercules from two different people. Like, with the exact same capitalization. Holy shit. That's goddamn. Unfortunately, know very little about TF2. You just have to know Miss Pauling is like this like cute secretary woman with glasses. Hold on. Or Tiny Tina, who's like an insane person. Miss Pauling shows up more in the comics than in game or in any videos in Team Fortress 2. Highly recommend the Team Fortress 2 comics, by the way, if you want like funny but also like good story. The TF2 comics are fucking incredible. Again, chat, we're getting to that point where I have lost the plot and I'm no longer talking about the episode itself. I think it is that time that I will end off. So chat, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I promise next week we had 2 streams to make up from missing 2 weeks. I promise next weekend we will do a stream for certain. Certainly. Absolutely, we will do that. Goodbye, chat. Good night to Steve. Yes, he is not in the room with me currently, but yes. Okay.